Ukraine destroyed hundreds of Russian tanks and elite battalions in the epic Battle of Kursk. Videos taken by drones and Ukrainian soldiers show Russian armored vehicles ablaze and buildings on fire, as gunshots can be heard in the background. Ukrainian paratroopers have destroyed a Russian assault group from an infamous Marine Brigade, accused of committing serious war crimes. The devastating ambush occurred in the Kursk region, where fierce fighting has been taking place. Soldiers from Ukraine's 95th Air Assault Brigade wiped out a Russian unit from the 155th Marine Brigade of the Pacific Fleet. Videos taken by drones and Ukrainian soldiers show Russian armored vehicles ablaze and buildings on fire, as gunshots can be heard in the background. The 155th Marine Brigade has a notorious reputation for cruelty and war crimes. The unit posted a sick video to social media channels, in which they boasted of decapitating Ukrainian prisoners of war. In the clip, a Russian soldier points to the severed head of a Ukrainian soldier on a pole, saying, "This will happen every time we meet." Ukrainian intelligence also claims the unit was involved in the killings of civilians in Bucha, Irpin, and Gostomel. In a statement, Ukraine's air assault forces confirmed carrying out the attack on Putin's Marines, saying their troops had eliminated all the members of the assault group. These were scoundrels from the 155th Marine Brigade of the Pacific Fleet, who particularly enjoy flaunting their exploits, including mistreatment of prisoners and shooting of the Ukrainian servicemen, who, having no way out, surrendered, a spokesperson said. However, the Russian forces disregard international humanitarian law, violating it grossly and cynically. The elite Marine Brigade has suffered devastating casualties during the course of the war in Ukraine. Research by the BBC claims the brigade has lost around 80% of its forces. It was involved in a catastrophic assault on Vuhledar last year. Ukraine launched a blistering incursion into Kursk at the beginning of August, seizing some 500 square miles and 100 settlements. Putin's generals have redeployed roughly 50,000 soldiers from other areas of the front as they try to reclaim territory and force Ukraine's army out of the area. Previously, the Russian military suffered the loss of 1,610 troops, 17 tanks, and 153 vehicles between November 18th and November 19th, according to figures sourced from Ukraine's armed forces. Data uploaded on the official website of the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense previously also stated that Russia lost 46 artillery systems, 38 unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, cruise missiles, and 17 special equipment in the same period. The latest figures, if accurate, would bring Russia's total losses per Ukrainian reporting of troops, tanks, and vehicles since the 2022 invasion began to 724,050, 9,382, and 48,640 respectively. Total artillery losses would be 20,632, while drone and special equipment losses would total 19,111 and 3,672 respectively. Russia does not regularly publicize its military losses, and analysts are skeptical of reports from both sides of the conflict. The latest update from Ukrainian authorities, which comes as the conflict enters its 1,000th day, follows reports last week that Russian troops suffered their highest number of casualties in a single day since the 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Moscow lost 1,950 troops on November 11th, Ukraine's armed forces said. This broke a grim record set only one day earlier on Sunday, when Kyiv reported 1,770 casualties. Prior to this, the previously held record was in mid-May, when it was reported that Moscow sustained 1,740 casualties in a single day. It has also examined Russian troop, tank, and artillery losses in 2024 so far, using figures from Ukrainian authorities. October was the deadliest month for Russian troops, Kyiv said, with 41,980 casualties reported. As for tanks, the worst month for Russian forces was May, during which Ukraine reported 428 destroyed. Last month, 279 Russian tanks were lost. Russian tank losses monthly, 2,024, according to figures released by the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The latest updates come after the Biden administration authorized Ukraine to use American long-range missiles, including the Army Tactical Missile Systems, ATACMS, against targets inside Russia, a move that has sparked debate both at home and abroad. While some European leaders, such as the European Union's High Representative for Foreign Affairs, have welcomed the decision, Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov warned that by allowing Ukraine to fire American missiles into Russian territory, the U.S. was escalating the war. The military-industrial complex seems to want to make sure they get World War III, said Donald Trump Jr., son of the president-elect. On Sunday, Russia launched an extensive drone and missile attack on Ukraine, targeting infrastructure and killing civilians in several regions. At least 11 people were killed after a missile strike with cluster munitions hit an apartment building in Sumy. Ukrainian Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko reported over 400 evacuations.